Shalom Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God for the reading and the understanding of His word. And family, once again, I want to thank y'all so much for being back here with the royal family tonight. Thank you very much. And once again, I give all praise and honor and glory to the Most High for bringing us together once again. And of course, family, I cannot go without saying this. I want to wish every king, every queen, every prince, and every princess, I want to wish you a wonderful, magnificent Sabbath. And once again, thank you for bringing this in with your brother again this week. And as of last week, family, I truly hope that you understand truly that you are kings, queens, princes, and princesses. And speaking of which, I want to talk to our queens and our princesses right now. After this lesson, I have the absolute honor and privilege to announce that Queen Tanya will be having her first official lesson for the queens and the princesses of the royal family. So I am asking each and every last one of you, please, after this lesson, you can look in the comment section and it's pinned at the top. Her channel is going to be there. So immediately following this, I want every last one of our queens and princesses and kings. This is for them. I want you to please go click on that link right after this lesson and please go and watch her lesson. And it is only 8 minutes long. So she's not going to tie up your night. But I'm telling you, after I saw this, I started clapping. And I'm telling you the truth. This is something very special. So I want every last one of our queens and princesses to please go support Queen Tanya. And I thank y'all so much. So much. Now, family, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you are in your feelings tonight, this is not the lesson for you. I'm just telling you in advance because we are going to go hard on this lesson tonight. I'm telling you right now, and I'm in a very great mood, But we are going to be bringing out some more of 2nd Esdras. As a matter of fact, we are going to be reading from 2nd Esdras chapter 14 tonight, the precept chapter of what we read last week, which was 2nd Esdras 5. And we're going to get down. And there's going to be some videos and everything here tonight. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights. Oh, yes, it is. It's going to be one of those nights. And I just cannot promise the things that I'll say and will not say. I'm sorry, I can't promise it, and I will not promise it. All I know is that I'm going off of my passion. My passion is going to speak. And that's just going to be the bottom line. And if anybody has a problem with anything that I say here tonight, don't take it up with me. Take it up to the Father. I'm just telling you, because if you come at me, I just don't know what I'm going to say to you. All right? That's why I'm giving everybody the opportunity right now. If you are soft or weak-minded, this is not the lesson for you. Go ahead and turn it off. But for those of you that actually have a backbone and you don't mind your brother bringing things out the way that I do, stick around. And I thank you so much for it. Now, let's go ahead. Let's get this show on the road here. 2nd Esdras chapter 14. And once again, this is the precept of the lesson that we did last week, the continuation. All right, here we go. 2nd Esdras chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush over against me and said, Esdras, Esdras. Now, many of you already went to a certain place there if you're educated in our scriptures, because you know that this has actually happened before. Verse 2, and I said, here am I, Lord, and stood up upon my feet. Then said he unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses. So that's where we heard this before, that burning bush So when the Father does come to talk to some of our brothers, he comes in this form, that burning bush. He comes in the bush, a consuming fire. Because remember, right now in this spiritual state, if we looked at the Father in his true manifestation, we would die on the spot. I'll read that one more time. Then said he unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. So again, you know, I always like bringing this out when it says my people. When the Father says my people, he is only talking about the Israelites, because we were the ones that served in Egypt under slavery. We're his only people. Not the planet Earth, not all nations and creed, one, Israel. Verse 4, and I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount of where I held him by me a long season. Why did he hold him, family? Why did he hold him? There were some things going on up there, and you're going to find out what that is here tonight. You're going to find out. If you don't know. Verse 5, and told him many wondrous things, and shewed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. Okay, so hold on a second now. Now we know that the Father just said that he brought Moses up into the mountains. And he was having a discussion with him. He was showing him things. And he had him up there for 40 nights. 40 days, 40 nights. But what is the Father saying here? The Father's saying, hold on. On this hand, there are some things that you are going to be able to share with the people. But on this hand, these are the things that I want you to keep your mouth shut about. I'm going to show you some things. I'm going to show you a lot. This you can tell, but this you can't. Why? Because not everyone is entitled to have that knowledge. Not everyone is. And he made it very clear. Okay? But of course, I don't want to go ahead of myself, so let's continue. Verse 6. Well, excuse me, verse 7 now. And now I say unto thee, that thou lay up in thy heart the signs that I have shewed, and the dreams that thou hast seen, and the interpretations which thou hast heard. Now remember, we talked about that last week, when the Father was showing Esdras these visions, remember? And remember, for the visions that Esdras, what the vision that he saw, remember what it did to him? It sickened him. It tore him apart from the inside out. All the way to the point to where the Father had to check him. It was like, hold on a second. Who do you love more, me or the people? You got to listen to me, son. I'm God. I know what I'm doing. But Esdras had has such a love for our people that it took him into that place. Okay? So let's go ahead and continue. Verse 9. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son. Stop. Now, this just goes out to all the idiots out there that love to claim that Christ is an idol. Here it is, 2nd Esdras, that's not in the New Testament, that speaks about God having a son, and his name is Christ. Read it one more time, just for those that didn't get it. For thou shalt be taken away from all, and from henceforth thou shalt remain with my son, and with such as be like thee, until the times be ended. Verse 10. For the world, not the entire planet, the world of Israel, for the world has lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. Do you understand what that means? that the world has lost its youth. Do you remember when you was a small child and you are now coming into the point in your life where you're able to have a conversation with your parents or older brothers? Remember, as a youth, you were very impressionable. What you were told, you believed. What you were told to do, you did. When your mother and father gave out an instruction, you followed it. And if you didn't, you got disciplined, right? But what's happening here now is what he's saying is that the world of Israel has lost its youth. Israel is no longer listening. Read it again. For the world hath lost his youth, and the times begin to wax old. And when the Bible speaks of wax, it means it's transparent. It's becoming very old. It's easily seen. For the world is divided into 12 parts. What are those 12 parts? What are those 12 parts, family? The 12 tribes of Israel. Because remember, in the end, it's all going to be divided up amongst the tribes. Issachar's going to get some. Ephraim's going to get some. Judah's going to get some. Benjamin's going to get some. All the tribes, every last one of them, they're all going to get some. And it's all going to be divided up amongst everybody. The entire planet. The whole world. Okay? I'm going to read it again. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already because those tribes already left. And half of a 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Meaning those that remain behind. If you're having any difficulty understanding this, I want you to go read 2nd Esdras chapter 13. All right. Now verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order. I got to stop here for a second. Now, the kings, princes, this is us. Now, therefore, set thine house in order. Now, is it only talking about your own household? Or do we not have a house of Israel? Do you see the instruction that the Father gave? I'm looking at every king and prince right now, under the sound of my voice. You have a responsibility, king and prince. It doesn't matter how small you are. David was out there killing giants. You can bring these commandments out to our people. It doesn't matter your age. We have work to do. Okay? Read it one more time. Now, therefore, set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Now, I know that's not an everyday term. What does reprove mean? So, of course, you already know we got to get the definition of reprove. Because if we don't, then some people can try to interpret it on their own. Now, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that everyone understands what this means. So, the biblical definition of reprove: to speak disapprovingly to a person, rebuke or scold, saying, no, don't do that. Keep the commandments. Don't do what the world tells you to do. So he's saying here, so let's go back now that we know what it is. I'm going to read it again. Now, therefore, set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Scold thy people. Tell them that they're doing wrong. When you see your brother or sister doing wrong, tell them that they're doing wrong. That is what the Bible tells us. Not turn a blind eye like the Christian church tells you. Scold them. No, sis. No, brother. You can't do that. It's right here in the scriptures. Let me show you. You are a king. You are a queen. You are a prince. You are a princess. It doesn't matter if they get mad at you. It doesn't matter if they cop an attitude with you. You told them. Why? Because it is a commandment that you do it. That's why. If you have a problem with that, take it up with the Father. Don't take it up with me. I am just telling you what the scriptures say. I'm following directions. And you need to as well. And queens, that goes for you too. Not just the kings and the princes. It goes for you queens and you princesses as well. But as far as us kings, we have a responsibility. We have a delegated responsibility. But you are to open your mouths as well. So I want to make sure that we're clear on that. All right. I'm going to read 13 one more time. This is a very important one. Now, therefore, set thine house in order and reprove thy people. Comfort such of them as be in trouble. And now renounce corruption. Let go from the mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature. Stop. Family, what is the Father telling us to do? What is the Father telling Esdras to do to the people? A, stop your nonsense. Put off the weak nature. Stop living for the world. Oh, we're going to get a lot more into that here in just a little bit. Put away your burdens. That is where so many of our people suffer from. Burdens, 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 burdens. Even though the Father does have us in his captivity, those of us that live in righteousness, right? The Father said, y'all don't worry about nothing. Yep. Y'all are living under them curses. I got it. I understand. Yep. You taking an ass whipping. Taking an ass whipping for everybody. That's right. But you deserve it. But I built you to endure. I built you to take it. No other nation on this planet can take what we take. But you have us, so many of our people that just fall, just die. And the Father said, I built you to take it, chump. Unbelievable. Verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. The Father, what did the Father just say? Put away the foolishness. Run from the danger that's coming. In other words, keep these commandments. The things, I'm going to read this one more time. And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee. The things that weigh you down. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to help get my child through college? How am I going to get to work? All these little things here, the things that, and they are little. And do you know why they're little? Because the Father said, cast your burdens upon me. For those of us who are righteous, for those of every last person who's righteous, right? That keep these commandments, that's following. He said, I got you. You don't got to worry about a damn thing. Don't worry about if you're going to lose your job because of you know what. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. Can't say it because I'll get dinged. I'm going to lose my job. The Father said, I feed the damn birds every day. Aren't you more than a bird? But yet, our brains go right to mush. Our integrity turns into failure. Because we get notices. What is the damn term? Crap! I hate when this happens. I can't think about it. My old ass brain is getting to that point now. But you get the notifications in the mail, or they send you emails about debt, pretty much, and our people just crumble. And do you know why? You know why? Because we love our conditions versus hate our conditions. Verse 16, for yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. So the Father's telling Esdras, there's going to be so much more evil that come. There's going to be so much more evil that comes your way. There's going to be evil that you've never seen before, man. Verse 17, for look how much the world shall be weaker through age, meaning as the earth gets older, so as every day pass, the evil is going to grow more intensely. As so, the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. Our people are going to get more and more evil every day. And we are living it today, right now, as a matter of fact. Verse 18, sorry. For the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now hasteth the vision to come, which thou hast seen. So he's going back. He's telling him, you remember all the things that I showed you? All these things that are going to come into fruition. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And you're going to see it. You're going to see it in this lifetime, and you're also going to see it in a later time. When you come back on the earth, we'll get into it. So many of you reached out to me in regards to reincarnation versus regeneration. As a matter of fact, let me clear that up right now. Reincarnation has nothing to do with regeneration. Reincarnation means that you died, and then when you came back as something else. You came back as a different life force. You came back as a caterpillar or a butterfly or a bird. That has nothing to do with the scriptures. Regeneration means that when you expire on this earth, and this is going all the way back to the beginning because you've been here since the beginning. When the Father created the spirits, you can read about that in the book of Genesis. The spirits was created, then put into vessels. When that vessel died, your spirit goes back to the Most High. It goes back in his presence. And when he sends you back down again, you come down in a different vessel. Same spirit, different vessel. Same spirit, different vessel. Remember, this is nothing more than a machine. That's all this is. It is a biological machine that the Father puts you into. Inside of this right now is your spirit that has been here before. And you're going to learn about this here more in this chapter. All right, verse 8. No, we just read 18. 19. Then answered I before thee and said, behold, Lord, I will go as thou hast commanded me, and reprove the people which are present. But they that shall be born afterward, who shall admonish them? You see, here's Esdras going right back to that. Thus, the world is set in darkness, and they that dwell therein are without light. So Esdras is saying here, okay, so hold on a second. Remember, that was his problem last week. So it's coming back to him, showing his compassion for our people. Okay, so what about those who aren't born yet? How are they going to learn? Yes, I can sit up out here and tell these people all day, but the ones who are born after, Father, who's going to tell them? Verse 21. For thy law is burnt. I want y'all to pay attention to this. For thy law is burnt. Therefore, no man knoweth the things that are done of thee, or the work that shall begin. So he's saying, Father, these people are not paying attention to your commandments. They don't know. Look how wicked everything is. But who is going to tell them that are coming about all of this? I'll be going, Father. I'm coming back to you. So who's going to tell them? Let's see. Verse 22. But if I have found grace before thee, send the Holy Ghost into me. You know what the Holy Ghost is? It's the Lord's statutes and commandments. The burning desire. And I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning. What? What? Let me read that again. And I shall write all that have been done in the world since the beginning. Now, if Esdras is living in this time, how in the world will he be able to see what happened all the way back then? Because Esdras has the understanding that he's been here before, and you're going to find out the answer. Just watch. Which were written in thy law, that men may find thy path, and that they which will live in the latter days may live. So he's saying, hold on a second. I want everybody to know. Right there, we could talk about what happened in the past, and I want everybody that's coming into this world to understand your law, statutes, and commandments. Do y'all understand just how passionate Esdras truly is? Do y'all understand why Esau had this removed from the Bible? Do you get it? There is nothing cutthroat about Esdras. Nothing. And if there were more examples of Esdras like this towards our family, we would be so much better off as a nation. But no, they took this stuff out. Don't let them niggas know that their ancestors actually loved them. Don't let them know that. Don't let any of them know that their ancestors are speaking to them through this book and telling them to do the right things. Because if that happens, then these niggas are going to understand if they keep the commandments of their God, they will be back in power and back in rulership. Crafty counsel, family, crafty counsel. Verse 23, and he answered me saying, go thy way, gather the people together, and say unto them that they seek thee not for 40 days. 40 days, 40 days, just like Moses. So the father's telling them, listen, go tell the people, don't bother me for 40 days. Verse 24, but look, thou prepare thee many box trees, and take with thee Sariah, Debria, Selemia, Econus, and Asiel, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly. Ooh. I'm not sure if y'all picked up on what just happened just now. But the father just gave Esdras the task. He said, hey, son, look, I want you going to tell the people, don't bother you for 40 days. Because I'm going to send you away in the wilderness. I'm sending you to the mountains. And I want you to take 5 brothers with you. 5 brothers with you. But these brothers are already ready for the task. I already prepared them for the task. All you got to do is go get them, and y'all go into the mountains for 40 days. You brothers have work to do. Just like us brothers have work to do. And the father already prepared us for this. King Marcus, King Porter. And some of y'all may have think that all of this has been done by a fluke. No. The father already raised up the people that he wants bringing his word forth, that has the passion and the courage to do it. And guess what? There's so many more of you where the father is dinging you to do this and you're just not answering. And there is a penalty for that. Oh, yes, it is. All right, let's continue. All right, verse 25. And come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thine heart, which shall not be put out, till the things be performed which thou shalt begin to write. So the father said, I'm going to give you the understanding. You don't have to sit there and rack your brain and beat your brain. I'm going to give you the understanding of what I need you to tell our people. I'm going to put it in you. Okay? Verse 26, and when thou hast done, some things shall thou publish, and some things shall thou shew secretly to the wise. Tomorrow, this hour, shall thou begin to write. So the father, just like he mentioned earlier, there's going to be some things that you can tell everybody, but there's these things over here that are for those that have the knowledge and understanding of. You see, because you're not supposed to sit out there and have 2-3 hour long conversations with someone that just doesn't understand. You're not supposed to sit out there and even entertain the idiot that want to argue with you. Is the world flat? and all that ignorance, all of that trash that has nothing to do with these scriptures. The Father said, okay, open your mouth to them, let them know. But then there's going to be these brothers and sisters over here that you can have these conversations with, and they'll understand. They'll get it. I told y'all, I've said this many of times, the Father is about separation even within Israel. 2/3 versus 1/3. It can't be any more real. Okay. Verse 27. Then went I forth as he commanded, and gathered all the people together and said, hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt. They were slaves, from whence they were delivered and received the law of life. So when the Father brought them out of Egypt, he gave them the commandments, the law of life, the laws of life, which they kept not, which ye also have transgressed after them. So they kept breaking the commandments, because remember, when Moses was up in the mountains, the 40 days and 40 nights, what happened? Aaron was down there making a gold calf for the people to worship. And Esdras is bringing all of this right back to their attention. They were doing it all the way back then, and y'all niggas doing it now. And guess what? Here today, we still are doing it. Verse 31. Then was the land, even the land of Sion, which is Zion, parted among you by lot, cast as lots. But your fathers and ye yourselves have done unrighteousness and have not kept the ways which the highest commanded you. So he's saying, y'all keep breaking the Most High commandments as we bring out here every week. Verse 32, and forasmuch as he is a righteous judge, he took from you in the time the thing that he had given you. What was that? Rulership, the kingdom, ownership of the world, your royalty, your status. And the Father took it away from even them. But remember, they still had an understanding of who they were, because their heritage was not taken from them. But our heritage was taken from us. Verse 33. And now are ye here, and your brethren among you, brethren, family. And he's talking to all of Israel. Why? Because we're all family. Verse 34. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. I want to make sure you understand what that just said. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read this one more time. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding. So in other words, put away your own understanding, put away what you think, and follow the commandments, and reform your hearts. That means to keep God's commandments all the way to your heart, to your mind, body, and soul. Ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. You get it? That's plain and simple. Keep the commandments and live. When you keep the commandments, even when you come back in that next life, you are in a great position, because you are conditioned to keep the Father's commandments. Conditioned to do it. Not on your own accord, but forget your own understanding is what it said. He said, forget your own understanding. Do not rely on your own understanding. Do not lean on your own understanding. It is absolutely unhealthy for you. Okay? Verse 35. I need every ear to listen to this, because this is cold. And it's also so sweet as well. Watch this. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again. Again. We're going to live again. And then shall the names of the righteous be manifest. The names of the righteous, the names of the righteous be manifest. So in other words, those who are righteous, those who kept the commandments, their names, which means them. They're going to be raised up. They're going to be raised up. Look what happened to the other people. And the works of the ungodly shall be declared. The works of the ungodly shall be declared. Now, the righteous, right? They are going to be put up, and so to speak, they're going to be put on pedestals. They're going to be put on pedestals. They are going to be renowned for the things that they have done. I need to get you the definition of declared. What was going to happen? Declared. Openly or formally asserted or announced. Let's go back. And the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Do you know what's going to happen, family, to those individuals who are unrighteous? All of their works are going to be shown to everybody. Everyone is going to see what they've done. So when they were out creeping, when they were sitting there talking trash about another brother or sister, about their mothers, fathers, about their own children, when they were doing these horrible, horrible things, all the things that you claim that you're able to do in secret is going to be brought to light, and everybody is going to be able to see it. Let me tell y'all right now, I've done some things. It pays to be godly. I'm going to tell you right now. And that's no secret. Y'all already know that I used to be the scum of the damn earth. I have admitted that on so many different occasions. I was a horrible bastard. And I was. But so many people continue to live in that lifestyle. And all your works are going to be shown. Everything. Can you imagine a whole world just watching one big movie screen about all the things that you did? That's going to happen to the ungodly. You better get your mind right. Verse 36. Let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek after me these 40 days. Like, yo, y'all don't bother me for 40 days. Leave me alone. Verse 37, so I took the 5 men as he commanded me, and we went into the field and remained there. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Esdras, open thy mouth, and drink that I give thee to drink. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. Now we know that the Father is a consuming fire when he appears to us. So the Father is giving a portion of himself to Esdras. Just a little portion. Verse 40, and I took it and drank. And when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast. For my spirit strengthened my memory. For my spirit strengthened my memory. What's happening with Esdras here? He's able to remember who he was all the way back then. Oh, I was keeping the commandments back then. Oh, I do have this knowledge of who I am. Just like we will. Regeneration, family. But yet the Christian church sits there and tell you that when you die, you go up into the clouds. You're in paradise when you die. No, you're not. You are in the best condition that you could possibly be in because your spirit goes back to the Father. But the Father created you. He manifested a body from the element of the ground to live forever. That's the form that he wants you in. That's the one. Rulership. It is what it is. Okay? Verse 41, and my mouth was open and shut no more. The highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told. You understand that? These brothers were all around, 6 of them there. And here it is, these visions and all of these different visions coming to them at once. The world, all this knowledge being given to them. Watch how it goes. Which they knew not. And they sat 40 days and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. So this was not during a fasting time. As for me, I spake in the day and held not my tongue by night. So as these brothers were sitting there eating, here's Esdras, the leader of the pack, pouring out now what he knows. Because remember, it didn't say that the other brothers were, they didn't get that drink. They didn't get it. Verse 44, in 40 days they wrote 204 books. 204 books. So Israel, do you know what that means? It means that, there's some knowledge that has been kept from us. Because in the Christian little false, fake little Bible, they only got 66 books. How many does that leave? Now, we, of course, have the Apocrypha, but that does not equal 204. So you mean to tell me that there's at least 80 other books out there? Who has these books? What's in the Vatican? What's in the catacombs of the Vatican? Oh, they got the books. And you know what those books more than likely contain? All of our records. Each and every last one of us. That's how they're able to identify who we are. Their little DNA, little lab things that they have where you can go and see exactly where you come from. Pfft. Please. They know exactly who we are. What about some of them other books? Oh, you mean the elements? You mean the instructions on how to walk on water, actually? How to defy, how to fly? All these things that we can do in the supernatural. Can you imagine the things that we can't even think about that's in there? 204 books. All right, let's continue. Verse 45, and it came to pass when the 40 days were filled, that the highest spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. So he's going right back. He said, yo, this is going to be this one right here for everybody. Everybody can read this one. Verse 46, but keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountain of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did So there were some books that the Father said, nah, not everybody can see. Not everybody can see. Not everybody. Because you got a whole bunch of fools out there. A whole bunch of fools. Idiots. But then, there are those of my sons and daughters that want to know this knowledge. They want it. They thirst for it. They can't live without it. That's who you give it to. That is who you give it to. But you see, that was back then. Remember, it was promised that in these last days, we are going to be scrambling for the word. And we are already getting to that point because they're taking away your freedom of speech. Oh, it's happening. It's happening. You can't even give your opinion about anything anymore. But you know what's also happening? Esau knows what's getting ready to come to this planet. They know, family, they know. And I told y'all I was going to show you a video. Now, some of you have already seen this, and I wanted to wait for the right time to show this video. And it is now the appropriate time. So without any further ado, family, please take a look at this here.
Now, let me say something right quick. I think back on the African-American people in America. I think how that they were taken against their wills, put in the belly of ships, brought over here, beat, cussed. Many of them died in the guts of those ships, thrown overboard. They were pulled from families over there. You ain't never heard a gut-wrenching song. Do you hear a black person sing one of those old black Negro spirituals? Nobody knows. I can't sing it like that, see, because I hadn't experienced what they be. When you've experienced hell, it comes out of the voice. I said, when you experience hell, it comes out of the voice. If you're one of those people that you got problem with black people or whatever, you better shut your mouth, because they're God's people. You better hear what I'm saying to you. You better shut your mouth. You better shut your white mouth. You better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding you. I know some of you was raised in the deep south and you was raised by prejudiced people and bigoted people. You better get that out of your system. You better get it out of your system. It'll cause you to suffer right along with those masters. It'll cause you to suffer right along with them. These are God's people. And I know that there's wicked in white races and wicked in black races and all that. I'm not justifying none of that stuff. I'm just saying God knows what happened to the black race. He knows how they wound up over here, and God is going to reimburse the black people for all their trouble and all their labor. You watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you.
I don't know how many of you have not seen that. That white man said, you better shut your white mouth. I'm not showing it for a shock factor. I'm showing you this here because I want you to understand what that man was telling his congregation. He was telling his congregation, fall back. It's no longer a secret. The secret's out. Those people, those are the children of God. Those are his real children. You see what Esau, not all of them, but what some they're doing now, they're looking for a little security blanket. But it's not going to happen. And they know that. That's why the Father, this is why I can actually say that. This is why the Father is allowing their spirits to do this now. The Father is raising their spirits. All of Esau's. Some of their spirits are like, okay, you know what? I don't want none of that. I don't want none. I don't want anything to do with that. No. Hey, y'all are the Israelites. We know, we understand that we're ready to serve you. And then there's the other ones that's like, oh, hell no. We know who y'all niggas are, but we ain't serving a damn thing. F you and your God. It's going to war. It's wartime. But of course, we already know who's going to win that war. We know that. But family, if you don't understand just how close we are to the end, then there's something wrong with you. There is seriously something wrong with you if you don't understand what's getting ready to happen on this planet. You see, our people, we've gone through it. We've gone through it. 400 years is up. We've been over that. Now it's at the very bottom hill, trickling down. Esau knows it. And they know that our people are waking up. And they can't stand it. They can't stand it. They know that their time is short. This is the time now where the scripture said they are going to try to start cleaving to our people. No. And remember what the Father told you. He said, okay, let them cleave to you and you will die with them. Ain't no playing no games here. None whatsoever. Ain't no playing no games. Kings, princes, I want you to hear me and I want you to hear me well. You have a job to do. It's time to get up off your ass, get on your feet, and start teaching our people. This is the example that Esdras has set for us. And do you know why? Go to John chapter 14, please. I'm going to show you why. John chapter 14. Because so many people think it's a game. We think we got time. We don't. We're going to start at verse 1. This is coming out of the mouth of Christ. The very same son that we just read about also in 2 Esdras 14. You know, the idle idiots. Let not your heart be troubled. Now, wait a second. Why is Christ quoting his father that we just read? Let not your heart be troubled. In other words, those burdens that we just read in 2 Esdras, don't have that weighing on you. Ye believe in God, believe also in me. Because I'm saying the very same thing that God said. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Do you understand what that just said? Do you understand the promise? This is why Esdras had such a problem, because Esdras knew what was for us. He understood that. He knew about these mansions. But the mansions that they had back then will not compare to the ones that are coming, the ones that were built by Christ himself. Remember what Christ's occupation was, and it is not by coincidence. He was a carpenter. And Christ said, I'm coming back for you. Forget about the burdens. You have so many other great things that you need to be thinking about. You should be thinking about keeping my Father's commandments. You should be thinking about how you're going to celebrate in the end. I'll tell you this right now. So many of you who are worried, you better get your lives together. All the people who see all these things happening just alone with the V. That's what I'm going to say. If you don't get it, you don't work. That's revelation. There's going to be a time when you can't buy and you can't sell. We are there now. Right now. We are in that time of the book. And people still don't get it. Blind. Willfully ignorant. Just stupid for no reason. And then these are the very same people that have the gall to look at you and try to have an intelligent, worldly conversation with you. And I look at those people and I say, get the hell up out my face. Just like Esdras did last week. Said, nigga, get out my face. Get out my face. I'm not trying to hear that. Kings, princes, queens, princesses. Your mouth needs to be open. Your mouths need to be teaching. Because the end is here. Whether you choose to believe it or not does not matter. The end is here. It is only going to be a matter of time. Boom! That sky's open. And next, what follows is judgment. Where are you going to be when that judgment is handed out? Are you going to be on the side of the ungodly, having all your business put out there? Or are you going to be on the side of the godly, where your name will be manifested? And the thing is that it's all up to you. You are the only person that can make that decision. So, the question is, what you gonna do? Israel, I am so glad that we was able to bring out the continuation to that story of last week, part 2. And I really hope that these scriptures put its foot in your ass and turned it and grinded it. It's decision time, family. It's decision time. As my grandmother used to say, either shit or get off the pot. Let's go. Pick one. There's no gray area. It's either here or there. It's either you're unrighteous or you're righteous. There's no middle. Remember what Christ said? He said, there's no lukewarm people, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. He said, I'm going to spit you out my mouth. He said, I'm going to spit you out. That's in disgust. He's like, I respect you more if you just chose to be ungodly. Seriously. Versus 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But I'm going to tell you, be godly. Live eternally. Get the mansion that is promised to you so that we can be in the presence of the Father all the time under the rulership of Christ on this vast planet that was created for our sakes. I don't think that's a very difficult decision to make. To me, it's very easy. Very, very easy. But the work has to be put in, and it is all up to you. So family, please remember, we are going to go now over to Queen Tanya's lesson here. But before we do, I just always want to make sure that I thank each and every last one of you. Thank you so much again for your support. Thank you so much for being a part of the royal family. And I love you guys. All right. But the outro is going to be just a little different today because remember, we are going over to Queen Tanya's lesson. So on the count of 3, I want everybody to go pull up right now. Look in the comment section and there is her link right there. And on the count of 3, you queens and princesses, or for any of you brothers that want to watch as well, but it is for the queens and the princesses. On the count of 3, at the gunshot, you're going to press the link. All right. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.